Hello YouTube, David aka Hoptop from Cyberfolk is here again. Today I'm officially announcing Cyberfolk Challenge and the beginning of the challenge itself. So this video itself is the first challenge done by myself. So it will be as a direction to join our challenges and to complete the very first challenge itself. So before I jump into the video, let me talk a bit more deeper about our Discord channel and the challenge itself and why it's so beneficial for anyone eager to learn new techniques to join our Discord channel. Firstly, the challenge itself is a big benefit. So what's going on here, you may ask? I will answer. During these challenges, you may do various tasks which won't take you much time to do, but instead you will learn things much quicker and much deeper than you usually do when just trying out things, when just producing new tracks, and so on. So these challenges are completely designed in a way so you can learn as deep as you go. So the very first challenge is to produce a track using only 9 tracks, channels. And to complete this challenge, you need to learn how to modulate things, how to randomize things, how to organize things, how to use effect tracks in Ableton Live, and how to gather this all together in order to get a fully sounding tracks. So it's all about tweaking your presets and sound to be different all the time, and it's all about a proper suitable arrangement, and I will show you how I did all by myself. Besides this, with each new challenge you will receive a carefully curated, super high quality sample packs and other resources to use to complete these challenges. And besides all of these, this is gonna be a perfect community place where participants of the challenges will share the stuff they're created with each other. So if we have 10 participants, you will have 10 times more sounds in the end. And only these parts of the sounds will be available only for those ones who joined the challenge. So before we jump in to the project itself, I want to mention that this is the second video based on the project. And during the first video, I deep dived to explain all of the techniques I used to sound design the sounds itself. So if you are interested how I made all of the sounds from scratch, you can watch our previous video. Let's go to the track itself. So before I start explaining things one by one, let us first hear a part of the track and then we start the process. So let's go with the deconstruction. Firstly, I will introduce you to the channels itself on what sounds they make, and then I will go through details on how I make it to be moving all the time and changing all the time without doing much automations. I will tell you a bit more how I did the arrangement, and in the end we will improve a few things that I left it for this session. So let's go. First, I have this channel which is basically making 3 sounds out of it, which is the kick itself. Let me just forward it to here. And the bass line. But there is also another effect track on the bass line which makes this sound out of it. So basically using and utilizing the power of effect tracks and instrument tracks, I created 3 sounds based on one simple sound. So some may tell me this is a cheating, but it's not. Simply because we are in a limited circumstances, so I needed to create a track with only 9 sounds, but I wanted to be happy with the track results itself. I utilized these techniques in order to get a richer palette of sounds. Next, I have this FM perk loop, which is glitch, and this glitch was further enhanced by bit repeats compiled in another effect track. And then I flavored it with resonators and give it some power using GOR. By the way, a resonator here was used in order to enhance the harmonics to be closer to our project, and our project is in A minor key, so I just tweaked the resonators to be in A minor, so this way the glitchy atonal sounds fit in the tonality of our track. Next, I have these hi-hats. Basically, this is 3 hi-hat layers done inside an instrument rack using the same sample source. I here used like chaining on the key map, or basically I use the key mapping, so I can have various sounds coming out of it whenever I want. So here, if you see, I play one long note, which is triggering 2 layers of the sound, and another layer, which is on D1, is just this open hi-hat type of sound coming out from it. Next, I have this operator preset, which I created with a random preset generator rack, which you can see in my previous video, and flavored it with 3 different auto filters on different frequency mode and different LFO mounts. So this way, they are not basically on the same LFO rate, but they're all on random shape. So this way, each time the percussion sound hits and eventually it become a percussion SFX, it make a new sound. And also the operator is designed to do same. I can basically play it fast forward so you can see yourself. You see, every time I play it, it makes another sound. So this is a great example on how randomization of things help you to don't get bored of a sound. So this channel goes throughout the whole track, but it makes new sounds every time and you never get bored of it. Next, I have the serum preset, which is making this scroll type of arpeggio sound, and again it's tweaked in a way using sample and holds, one sample and hold simply, to make the, and also I think I have macro randomization on like using not on random settings. Again, you can learn how I did it exactly from our previous video, but the thing here is that every time it hits, it's different. Not so much, but still you hear new type of the same thing happening over and over. Next, I have this another serum patch, which is making this sound. I named it What the Growl, and again, I have many LFOs. These are Chaos Rosler LFOs, tweaking things here and there. So again, each time we hear the sound, it's different. By the way, these randomized patches in the very end of the track, when I start the mix down, needs to be printed into audio, maybe just by using freeze and flatten functionality of the Ableton Live, in order to take the best parts of it. So maybe you can print it like 3 times more than needed and pick up the best ones to fit in the tracks, and maybe you want some, in some places, a bit higher filter sound, a bit lower filter sound. So this way you can control these randomized presets. And that's why I love these randomized presets. Basically, it gives you so many options to find new cool sounds and to tailor created sounds to fit in the arrangement. Next, I have these spooky textures, which is automated. So each time, I think every 16th beat, we have some sort of noise coming over and then dropping down. And here I use the multipass, which is kilohertz, 1 kilohertz effect processors, which is multi-band, and I used reverb on the low part and delay on the high part. So this way, when the filters opens up, you hear a delay on the top end of it. You hear? So it sounds like 2 sounds itself with just 1 sound. Another patch here is again key mapped inside Serum. It's called oscillator mapping. And this way I have my part sounds layered with an effect sound. So let's hear. When I play notes, I think below, yeah, I think below the fourth C4 note, we hear this part sound. But if I play note after, we hear again another randomized effect type sound. So this way, I had effects going throughout the track on different notes, and then part comes in, and the effects are still there. So this is kind of another way to utilize one channel to become 2 sounds. And in the very end, we have this Serum talking texture, which is another randomized patch. Let me show you how it looks like. Based on spectral engines of Serum. By the way, I absolutely love the spectral engine, and you can watch my previous video where you can see how I created this patch. We even enhanced it further during this tutorial itself, so you can learn it there. Another thing here I want to emphasize before jumping on the improvements of the track is that all of those channels, as I mentioned, and basically all of the sounds I created, you can watch in the previous video, get randomized features here and there. And these randomization features help me to have a non-repetitive outcome on a very, very repetitive style and direction, which is hypnotic techno. And this is basically essential in hypnotic techno to have this randomized situation. So the sounds, the channels, the effects don't repeat themselves and create unique patterns throughout the whole track. Okay, so let's move forward and add some more interesting patterns and things to even enhance our track further and to finalize and conclude a solid track in the end. So the first, I will jump into the low end channel because I want to add a SFX layer based on this shifter effect, which was basically creating the percussive layer on top of the kick bass. So we have this here, you remember, and what I will do here, let me just keep this minimized. I will copy one of the echoes to be right after the roar, group it, create a chain, add a utility right in front of it. Maybe we should add I think 60% should be enough reverb, and this way our gain becomes a send to echo which sits now in return. So I basically created some sort of a return channel inside my channel with a send control. This is a way to do so, and some may ask, okay, what's the difference? You can do it in the return channel as well. I will tell you there is no difference, but this is in some cases more convenient, and I'll also show you this technique. So we need maybe 6. We could link this ping pong mode, and let's try it out now. You see? This way, when you cut out the gain again, the tail of the echo remains, but the sound doesn't go to the echo anymore. To further enhance this, we need to add a shifter on top of it, just the same patch that we have, but a bit more coarse value, somewhere 650 Hertz. And yeah, let's try it out again. You see, now we have a proper sound. And we can add this FX layer wherever we need so. And yeah, let's first now find the places when we need this effect to come in. So we have a few places where nothing is happening. I think one of those is here. And we can add a locator here and say that add SFX here. I'm doing so to show you this some sort of task management system that you can apply on your projects once you think about adding a thing or fixing a thing, but you don't want to spend your time right now on this exact process. So you just create a marker, add your comment, and you have your node here to be finished there, and once I do it, I delete it later. So let me first find these positions here, and then we will add the automation. So it's one needed here, and then we have things happening here. After the drop, we have things happening like the hi-hat turns off and on, then the break comes in, then another drop where pod is evolving. So it's interesting, but here as well we need to add something. Add here as well, and then we can basically add here as well, like 3 times. This will be pretty much enough. Add here as well. So let's create the first one, and then we will duplicate it to the other parts. So what we'll do here is basically we'll draw an automation of 4 bars coming to here. To be a bit like 5 dB should be enough, or 6. I will use the shift to tailor it. Okay, so then it comes out, and we can adjust a bit curvy automation here. Let me hear it in action, firstly without context, and then we will unsolo it so we can hear it in the context as well. We need to adjust these drivers. That's why we had the sound coming off as well, the original sound. Okay, so the last thing, maybe we should do something like this, so it stops at this part. Let me hear it again, and let's hear it in the context. That was good. Again, maybe not here, but here. Yeah, so we added just this subtle FX layer into it, so we can copy this, maybe from here, and maybe take it here, like this, and paste it here. No, I pushed it here, and then in the very end. Perfect. let me jump to hear it how it works. Yeah, maybe it's too low in volume. We can basically add a saturation in the end of this effect track. Just a tiny bit. Let's hear it in the very end. Yeah, it's much better. So yeah, this way we improved slightly more, but believe me, these small details do some bang. And then next, I want to improve and to add the sync, not improve, but to add the sync on these glitch FMs to even further enhance like this part when the pod comes out. So we have another SFX complementing this transition from here and there. And I guess we have this auto filter part here and here. So these are some sort of mini breaks that need extra complements. So here we don't need to do anything new, but I can basically add this feedback and it will create some sort of interesting pattern. I did the same and I showed how this feedback works in my previous video. So if you are interested, you can watch it. So let's see how it works. You hear this coming. We can basically increase the reverb as well there on that points and keep the reverb and then slightly took it off with the same automation. So let me create the automation of the feedback itself. So it comes to this much and let's hear it. Reverb as well. Hold on. We need longer building up, like this. Maybe it was too much, but let's hear. I think 130 would be fine. Yes, let's hear in the context. Perfect. So we had another layer. We can just adjust the curves here to be sounding more nature. And basically we can copy and paste this part to here as well. And next, we will just add another interesting hi-hat pattern on top of the syncs, and we are done for today. So here I had my hi-hat patterns. We basically don't need it overall, but basically we can create some sort of interesting layer on it. I think we'll do shifter with again using the shifter. The reason I use shifter here and there this much because that I am absolutely in love pitch modulation, frequency modulation, and ring modulation. And this is the tool inside Ableton Live to use to enhance and to receive like some interesting crazy patterns out of your sounds. So let me here how it sounds, and we will basically create a group firstly with a dry chain. So this is some sort of becoming a new layer on top of what we have. And solo this one. And let's go to frequency modulation on this one. Add the LFO. You see, it's now starting to do this crazy behavior. And once we go to the sync mode, triangle is, I think we are okay with triangle. Oh, maybe we can go random this time. Yes. And let's go on 1/3 to have this odd groove on top of what we have. You see the crazy movements. And it's just auto-panning also because of the phases on. Then we will add the auto-pan on top of it to create some sort of side chaining. For doing this, we need to go on the sync mode, 1/4, sawtooth, inversion, and shape, and amount. And face down. So we have some sort of only these half beats accentized now. And let's hear it on top of the sound. You see, we have another hi-hat layer, and we can add a reverb just to make it go back a bit in the mix. Without this, we did. And we basically, whenever needed, we can turn off this to enhance our arrangement. And I think we can open it up somewhere here where we don't have anything much happening. I think we only did, I forgot to leave the automation on this one. And yeah, after this, we will enable this hi-hat pattern from here. So it's there, chain volume from like, it should be 0 and it goes away. So this way we will add more hi-hats starting from this position. You see like this type of sound, and maybe we just overdid with the side chain amount. Away, and also it comes back again maybe here, goes away here. That's it, we are done. And maybe if we want to even enhance further the sound and differentiate from the other hi-hats, we can add a beat crusher on top of it. So let me just find the Redux and add it on top after reverb or even before. After reverb will create like this reverb tail will be bit crushed as well, but before no, so we'll try both options. And maybe we can add an EQ after it. You see, before, like without this effect chain, then it will come in. And we'll try the reverb after now. It kind of become more hearable. And even if we don't want the sound to be applied on the hi-hat, like the open hi-hat, which is this one, I will add it on this one, on this chain, so it only works on these repetitive patterns that go throughout the whole track. Let's hear this as well. Okay, friends, so this is it for today. This was my participation, my submission for the challenge itself, which I hope will guide you to create super interesting tracks. Once more, I'm inviting you to join the challenge through our Discord. The link you can find below. Have a nice day and see you next time. Bye bye.